This is Jennifer Kenna with Aspire Home Buyer. Thank you so much for listening to the Craig Proctor podcast.
Let's go!
Hey everybody, this is Blake Corey here with the Craig Proctor podcast and Craig Proctor seminars. I've got an awesome guest today. I have been waiting for you to sit in that chair for I can't tell you how long. We've got today Miss Jennifer Kenna. Hey
Hi
Jen,
there.
how's it going?
Doing great. How you doing, Blake?
Pretty good. It's been now what did we meet about 2 or 3 years ago now?
Yeah, I think it's been 3 years.
And I'll never forget how you're like, yep, I'm moving from one side of the state of Florida to the other and I'm going to start all over again.
Yeah, very scary time for a realtor to try to move out of the area, especially when I've grown up there.
So for all of our listeners who don't know, Jennifer, you born and raised in the state of Florida?
I was, yep.
Okay, gotcha. And you run a real estate team now out of
Bradenton, like the Sarasota area.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. So, for our listeners who don't know anything about Jennifer Kenna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. So when I first started in real estate, my dad was a house flipper and investor. So he's been in real estate my whole career. The last thing I want to do was ever get in real estate. So I came from corporate America, was selling medical supplies, traveled the world, did a lot of really fun stuff. Decided I'd get my real estate license on the side, like most people do, just to kind of get out of the day, the day of the corporate world. So wanted to try something new, got into real estate, absolutely loved it, sold my first house, really made an impact on someone's life and decided this was for me. So I really wanted to just go full force with it.
You traveled the world and still decided to come back to Florida?
That's right. Hey, I love Florida.
No, we have a good time down in Florida. But I mean, you had a pretty cool upbringing. No real struggles?
Well,
Everything's sunshine and rainbows?
No, definitely the struggles of the real estate agent. So when I first started, you're always trying to figure out where do you get your next client? I mean, that's really the toughest part that you have. Once you have a customer, you know what to do. We know the dynamics of it. We know how to handle the customer, make a sale. We know how to do that side of it. But it's just really hard finding where your next customer comes from.
So when did you actually get your start in real estate?
So when I first started, like I said, my dad was in real estate, so I kind of had a little bit of an in. And moving to the other side of the state, now I lost all my sphere, lost everyone that I knew, and really had to start my business over. And that's how I first came across Craig Proctor.
So, okay, what year was that in?
So that was 2016.
2016. So in 2016, you started all over as a solo agent in Bradenton, Florida. Am I saying that right?
That's
Bradenton?
right. Yep, you got it. You
Gotcha.
got it.
And that's down in the Sarasota area.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on the Gulf Coast side.
Oh, the good side.
It's beautiful.
The good
yeah,
side.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So 2016, you're starting over. You're trying to figure out how do I get my next client and things like that. So 2016, how many houses did you end up selling?
So 2016, when I first started, I'd say it was probably like 15 houses. So,
Okay.
and in comparison to the people that were
That's
around
not bad.
me,
15 houses
I was doing
your first
okay.
year?
Yeah.
15 houses your first year is pretty good. I mean, what does that end up coming out to be commission-wise?
I always made around $100,000 a year.
Okay, 100,000. So wow, 15 homes, $100,000 your first year. Dude, you're the next whiz kid of real estate, man. You're making tons of money then. I mean, you're in the top 1% of real estate agents nationwide your very first year.
Wow. Yep.
Okay, so fast forward now, it's 2019, 3 years later. What does your business look like?
Yep. So now we've sold over 100 homes this past year. I've learned to grow a team, build a team. We've completely changed our business. Now I'm a broker, own my own office, have my own, assistants and managers in the office. Totally changed. I mean, now I do a lot of introductions. Still, I still work as a realtor. So I do a lot of introductions with the customer. The minute we sign a contract, I'm passing it off to my team and on to the next one. So.
Dude, that's awesome. Over 100 homes this year. So
have.
you're going to go from 15 to 100 homes in merely 36 months.
Yep.
That you obviously cracked the code. You figured out the algorithm to make it. Are you going to break that number? That big lofty number in the sky, that $1 million?
Oh yeah. Yeah. This year we are. And next year I just want to double again. So that's always been my goal because that's what Craig said. That's how you actually make a quantum leap. Not an incremental little gain, a little bit every year. We wanted to make a quantum leap and we've doubled in business every year.
Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So to go in 3 years, uproot your entire life from one side of the sunny state of Florida to the other. And in that time, though, some pretty cool things have happened, haven't they, to you personally in your personal life?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I met my husband. I actually been married a year now, and I'm a stepmom of 3 beautiful daughters. So my life has very much changed.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, you guys moved into like Margaritaville down there?
Oh, yeah. So we have a new home now. It's in Margaritaville. It's a lot of fun. I mean, very like social, fun area that we live in. And we're right across from the Anna Maria Island, which is a beautiful white sand beach. So
does Jimmy
pretty awesome.
come to visit often at all?
He actually comes. He came one time for the ribbon cutting, and he's supposed to be coming back because they're opening a Land Shark hotel and bar right there. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my God. It sounds like you live in paradise, man. $1 million real estate agent living in Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett's coming. Wow. I got to think about moving from California down to Florida.
You should come visit.
Oh, that's awesome.
We can help you find a house there. It'd be no problem.
So let me ask you, when did you first start? Because I know you're a big proponent, you're a big fan of direct response advertising,
Absolutely.
Getting prospects to call you, leveraging your time through advertising, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let me ask you, a lot of our listeners are listening to this. And by the way, guys, if you're listening and you are out there, social media, Instagram, Facebook, you can find Jen, you can find myself, Craig Proctor Seminars. Do us a favor. Tell us you're listening, because we're going to be giving away some free stuff at the end of this podcast. But when you hear it, some of the things, the nuggets Jennifer Kenna is about to drop on you about what changed her business and how she increased her business. Do me a favor, give her a shout out. Give Craig Proctor Seminars, myself, Jennifer Kenna, a shout out on social media. Let us know you're listening. All right, Jen. So I just laid the foundation. They're going to tell you, Jen, I'm listening.
Awesome.
Tell our listeners right now, 2, maybe 3 things that you did direct response advertising wise that changed it all for you.
Okay. Well, I will definitely say copy the systems. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's the first thing that we all do as entrepreneurs is we try to, learn from Craig and then make it our own. Don't even bother. Really, you want to surround yourself with people that are very successful, that are already doing it, and copy and learn from them. So one little side note, that's a mistake I made early on. But
so the side note,
yes.
Copy and you will succeed.
Use the system. Absolutely. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. So it's obviously been successful. It's successful all over North America from so many different agents. So the goal is that you want customers calling you instead of you reaching out all the time and having a cold call and door knock and open houses and all the struggles that most realtors go through. You want to have ads that speak directly to the customer, and you're giving them what they want. That's the secret. You give the customer what they want and they call you directly.
Well, give us an example. I mean, our listeners are waiting. They're like,
yes. Okay.
What is Jennifer Kenna using in her business right now, or that is creating buyers and sellers to call her?
Okay. So number 1, you always want to have your USP. You want to have it on any type of medium that you're using. So Facebook, so email, your email signature, it's everywhere.
Park it. Hold on. We got to reverse. USP. What does USP stand for?
So it's your unique selling proposition.
Okay.
What separates you from every other realtor out there? So we offer the guaranteed sale program. It has definitely been number 1, what makes our phone ring the most. I mean, that's really been a big separator for us. We get so many calls. I have friends and family that call. How does this work? No, wait a minute. No, I don't understand. How is it possible you could buy my house? So it definitely makes our phone ring, and that's our number 1 USP we offer.
So the number 1 nugget you're dropping to all the listeners out there right now, the development and implementation of a unique selling proposition. And if you guys remember, we've had a couple special guests on here. Nathan Clark, number 1 agent in the state of Rhode Island. John Reeves, the number 1 agent in San Diego County, California. And both of those dudes were like, you got to get a USP, man. You got to implement a USP. The guaranteed sale program is what they use, what you use. You got to implement that in your business because that helps set you apart from every single other real estate agent out there in the game right now.
That's right.
Yeah. So your guaranteed sale program, your USP, give it to us right now.
Okay. So guaranteed your home sells or we'll buy it.
Your home sold guaranteed, or Jennifer will buy it.
That's right. And Aspire has the buyers. So we market that. We have the website. We market that a lot too, because you have to really think about what do sellers want. They want to sell their home. They want buyers.
Yeah.
What do buyers want? They want properties they can't find on their own. They have access to Zillow. They have access to Realtor.com. So really finding that properties for them, we have to give them unique properties they can't find on their own.
Yeah. So, are you broadcasting that on the radio yet? Podcasting or,
No.
online, maybe Pandora, or on, normal radio stations around your area? You on the radio yet?
Not yet.
Well, if you need someone to record the audio for that radio, you give me a call. I'll be available for you. All right.
Awesome.
This episode of the Craig Proctor Podcast is brought to you by Salisbury Media Group, the leading real estate virtual tour and photography company in the Greater Toronto Area. We have an exclusive offer just for you, Craig Proctor Podcast listeners. Use promo code CPP when booking and receive 10% off your first shoot. You can learn more about this offer and check out our work at salisburymedia.ca. Now back to the Craig Proctor Podcast.
Okay, so in all seriousness, note, number one nugget, the implementation of a unique selling proposition, yours, that you use, your home sold guaranteed, or you'll buy it. Aspire has the buyers. Now, let me ask you, when you first got in though, you're selling 100 homes now, you've got Benjamin Franklin's, stacked up in that closet. I know you do. Jerry sent me a photo, and for those of you listening, Jerry's her husband. Jerry sent me a photo. He's like, she's saving up and stacking the money that she's making right now. But I also know that you give a lot away, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But before you had all the money and all this success, was that the USP that you were running, or were you running a different unique selling proposition?
So I was very nervous to pull the trigger on that one. So it made me nervous because, of course, at first when you're starting in the business, you're like, how is it possible I can buy someone's home? So it was a very scary thing when you first start. And it really just takes, learning. I mean, you really have to understand it. You have to know how the program works, read through the contract, really understand what you're offering. So initially, no, I was not offering that program. And I also do a lot of coaching. So I work with a lot of agents that are just starting and they're very nervous. It's probably the biggest question that we get. How can you do this? How can you offer it? So initially we didn't do it, but once we got more comfortable and we understand how it worked, now we want to yell it from the rooftops. We want to tell anyone that's listening.
Gotcha. All right. So nugget number one, the implementation of a unique selling proposition. How about number two? What would the second thing be? Is there something that you did when you were selling 15 homes? And by the way, you went from selling 15 to how many the next year?
So we doubled. I think we did about 42.
42. From 15 to 42. Give our listeners something that they could do to go from 15 home sales a year to 40 home sales a year, quick and easy.
Okay, so the first step really is lead generation. So you have to make sure you have an overflow of leads that are coming in. You have to have customers to talk to. And then what Craig Proctor teaches us is also the conversion process. So now that you have a lead, how do you keep them? How do you convert that into a customer? So you really want to get good at your skills on the phone, skills in person. You have to really understand how to convert those leads. And then you want to get really good at the presentations. I mean, that's the next step.
Conducting buyer and seller consultations.
Once we're face-to-face with a customer, you have to get really good at that too.
So let's go back to the lead generation portion of it. Okay, you talked about the implementation of a unique selling proposition. Now we're talking about lead generation. When you first started, you were selling 15 homes. I'm sure you didn't go do the type of advertising that you do today.
Not at all.
Okay. So tell our listeners, what advertising were you doing?
So I think it was basically just anyone that I knew. I wanted to make sure that they knew I was a realtor and just obligate them into working with me because they knew me and liked me. So apparently,
into submission.
That's all I had.
Getting them into submission. You are working with me.
If you want to be friends with me, you have to make sure you buy or sell your home through me. So it was really just my sphere of influence and people I knew.
Okay. But what ads were you running to get new customers to call you?
What's that?
Yeah.
I wasn't running ads.
From 15 to 40 home sales, you weren't running any ads?
I was not running any ads.
Okay.
It was my sphere of influence.
It was
going out, meeting people, talking to people face to face.
Well, were you sending them anything?
No.
No, not at all?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, when you talk about lead generation, though, one of the biggest things that we learn in direct response advertising is to run ads to get people to call you.
Right.
So when did you start doing that?
So my first 6 months in the Craig Proctor program. So once I actually knew what to say and I had confidence that the messages that I was putting out there would actually bring a return, not just throwing a guess out there and just trying something that didn't work, that's absolutely when our phone started to ring. We started to get leads that were clicking on our ads. We had people calling.
What ads were those? They were clicking on what?
We did a lot of mailers to start with.
Okay, a lot of mailers.
So I really liked the mailers that they offered in the classified ads because I felt like it was really content rich. It's information that people want. So we started with that. We eventually got into the Facebook ads and some of the Google pay-per-click ads after that.
Okay, gotcha. So, but the first thing you started with was a mailer. But for our listeners that are, 5 to 15 home sales, which one of those ads that you talked about right there would you say they should go do that can get them some quick and easy results, get them lead flow in today so they can start to get on the phone with motivated buyers and sellers?
Okay, I would say at the beginning, I was really working a lot with buyers. I felt very comfortable with buyers. They weren't paying me, so I didn't have to have the uncomfortable conversation about getting paid with commissions. So initially, I was working with a lot of buyers, and I was just doing ads for properties.
Of course, yes. We talked about this the other day. Yeah. Buyers want houses. Sellers want buyers, and buyers want houses. So you were offering to buyers what they really wanted, which were homes.
Yep.
And of course, you had a specific ad format for that, I'm sure. And for all of our listeners, if you want to see the ad format that Jennifer uses, that I use, that all the top agents use, go ahead. We're right down here in the description area. You're going to see a link. It'll take you to download a free report on how to write that. So we're going to give you guys the blueprint of how to write property-specific ads so you can get them posted on. You were posting on Facebook, right? Facebook and Craigslist and
Facebook Marketplace.
Marketplace is a great place, free place for all of our listeners to write that. So now we're going to give you the formula of how to do it to get buyers and sellers to inquire just like you did to turn up your business.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. But you got to have that system on how to convert them.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So now you get leads and you get very excited and you start measuring your business like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make all this money. I have all these leads coming in. But it really doesn't mean anything unless you convert them into a client.
So 15 home sales to 42 home sales to then what?
So I think the next year we were around, I think it was 89.
89 home sales. And now you're going to go over 100 home sales this year.
We're going to do about 120 this year.
120 this year. So, man, you're just growing and growing
a little
growing.
shy of my goal this year. I wasn't really happy about that. So I had some time off for some personal health issues. But otherwise, I know we would have hit our goal. So.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Congratulations. I mean, what a huge accomplishment. Now you're pretty active in your community, right?
Yep.
Like I think you guys, you give away some of that money you're storing up in the closet right now. That's for sure.
We absolutely do believe. I mean, I feel like that's the fulfillment part of your life. I mean, you have to be able to give back, and that's how you receive more. And it's also just brings a lot of fulfillment.
That's
so
awesome.
We do a ton of that kind of stuff.
What charity are you guys working with right now?
We have about 4.
Oh, cool. Tell us about them.
So my husband's the president of a soccer club, a local soccer club. There's about 600 families there. So we invest our time a lot there, but we also do sponsor about 3 different soccer teams. We grew up as a soccer family, have 3 daughters that played soccer. So we really sponsor with them. And it's brought a lot of different customers that, it's really brought some awareness to us and in the community. Then we also do a lot for like the holidays are coming up. So, coming up for Thanksgiving, we actually go out and we feed the homeless. So we prepare a full meal. We go out and we feed the homeless, which has been really awesome. I think there was about 5 of us that were doing it.
Yep.
And by sharing it on social media, we probably have 45 people that are going to help us this year. So we do a lot of that. We give really to a lot of different organizations. Salvation Army, we sponsor a couple kids. I think we picked 5 kids out. We did all their Christmas for them this year. What else do we do?
You guys are doing a lot.
There's a lot. Any chance we have.
Soccer mom goes from 15 home sales a year to making over $1 million in commissions in 36 months.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. And not only are you making the money, you're giving the money away. Your family is actively involved inside of your community doing wonderful, wonderful things.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, so, let's say our listeners want to follow you, want to see how you continue this journey, want to grow, want to copy what you're doing.
Sure.
You're on social media, right? You're on Facebook and Instagram,
Definitely
YouTube
can find me on
and stuff.
Facebook. Our Instagram, it's Aspire Home Buyer. And on Facebook, Jennifer Kenna or Aspire Home Buyer. We have both pages on there. And I have a coaching page as well.
Awesome. So you've got Jennifer Kenna on Facebook, Aspire Home Buyer on your IG account. And I know you're always posting some really, really good stuff on there. So if you guys want to follow Jennifer, go there, follow her on those. Let us know you're listening though. You can hashtag in Jen, myself, Craig Proctor seminars. And you've been a student of Craig Proctor's now for how long?
Yeah, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 amazing years.
3 amazing years. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And you've seen your business massively change.
Yep.
So that's awesome. If you guys, as a reminder, we talked about it earlier, if you guys are wanting the blueprint of how to write property ads that get buyers and sellers to call you from free sources, go into the description of this cast and click on the link. It'll take you to a page to go ahead and download the free report. It's the same stuff you use, same stuff I use, help us gain massive success. So Jen, is there anything you want to finish this cast with and let all of our listeners know? Is there just one last thing you want to drop to them to help them take action, change their life?
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes down to just belief. Like you just have to, set the fear aside. Everyone's nervous to try something new. You have to get a little bit outside your comfort zone, but you also have to have belief in yourself and belief that you can achieve the things that you want, or you'll never take the first step. So, we meet a lot of realtors that are just really, scared and nervous, and they're comfortable in their 15 homes a year. So we really want to make them, know that it's possible and that they can do it. They can make that happen.
Well, if a soccer mom can go from
That's
15
right.
home sales to over 120 home sales a year in 36 months.
Yep. Anyone can do it.
That's
for sure.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, Jen, thank you so much. And thank you
you.
for all of our listeners out there listening to Jennifer today. It's been an absolute pleasure. So everyone get ready for the next podcast with our next millionaire real estate agent, just like Jennifer Kenna, right here on the Craig Proctor Podcast.
Thank you so much.